Hey everybody, Hoang here, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite decks for the BT5 format, Lordknightmon Yellow. I just want to say, I've played a lot of this deck during the Japanese format. Like, I put in like 200 plus games or so into this, so hopefully my experience can really help you guys out. So without further ado, let's get started. To kick us off, we're going to talk about what in my opinion is the best yellow card in all of BT5, Starmon. Now, on the surface, you would imagine it's Lordknightmon or Knightmon that's the best BT5 yellow card, right? But no, it's Starmon. Starmon is so cracked that he's used in like every yellow deck. Starmon is on play for every Digimon you have. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1k DP. So this is an increment similar to Shine Greymon, but he counts himself. So really how this works is if you have one Digimon, himself, you reduce by 1k. If you have two, you reduce by 2k. If you have three, you reduce by 3k. Now the really pain in the butt part and why people hate playing against Starmon is that you can end your turn on a Starmon to finish off what little remains of your opponent's Digimon. So let's say that your opponent has a 8k. Or a 9k, or something along those lines. And let's say you went into a Lordknightmon or a Knightmon, you minus 4, alright? And suddenly, Starmon pops out, and he's just like, BANG! You're dead! Alright? Starmon is really, 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 really good. Like, this is a 4 of in, like, most yellow decks. This card is too cracked. Absolutely cracked. Up next, we have the best call target for Lordknightmon, Knightmon. Knightmon is on play. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4k DP for the rest of the turn. And I want to point out, this is the strongest call target that you have in the deck. I've posted on the screen the different thresholds that you hit depending on what you pair the Knightmon with. So Knightmon by himself is only 4000 DP, which is still significant, mind you, because that snipes most level 3s in the game. Knightmon plus Starmon, who has you have 3 bodies on board, so Crusader, Knight, and then you end your turn on Star, right? That's a total of 7000 DP you've just reduced. Okay, cool. Now we've killed almost every single level 5 in the game, or we've killed several level 3s, or you know, like it really goes on. And then we have Knight plus Slash. Okay, cool. This hits every 12,000 threshold, so no level 6s are safe now, right? Outside of like Nidhogg or Ancient Garurumon. And then Knight plus Slash plus Chaos is 26,000 DP you have just taken away from the board. That's a board wipe. That's just straight up a board wipe. What are you doing in that? Because if you distribute it differently, let's say, okay, 8 to one body, 7 to another body, 4 plus 7 to a different body. Cool. You've just killed a 6, a 5, and another 5. Like, Knightmon is so cracked. It's really, really good, guys. Play this at 4, like mandatory. And then finally, we have the boss card of the deck, Lordknightmon. Lordknightmon is, when attacking, you may play a yellow level 3 Digimon or a yellow Digimon with Warrior, specifically Warrior, not Holy Warrior, from your hand without paying its cost. And during both players' turns, for every other Digimon you have in play, this Digimon gets plus 1k. So Lordknightmon is just super, super versatile in comparison to Wargreymon, right? Wargreymon is all about that aggression, going straight for your opponent. Lordknightmon is all about creating a huge board, getting that free DP value, which Wargreymon lacked. It didn't have DP, so that's a really nice addition. But also, that DP boost is during both players' turns. So if Lordknightmon swings, sometimes it's difficult to swing back into the Lordknightmon because you just can't. It's just too big. This card is really, really great. It sees a lot of versatility. As we get stronger yellow level 3s, this card just becomes better and better. So definitely be looking out for this one and the future formats as well as this one. Now we're going to talk about some of the techs that you can play in Lordknightmon. So there's a lot of techs you can run because, again, this deck is very versatile. It can do a lot of different things. Spiral Masquerade, for example, is a card that has additional DP reduction, but you have to think about it in the context of the deck. If you play the Slash variant of Lordknightmon, do you really need Spiral Masquerade if you're clearing the board regardless? Sometimes too much for DP reduction becomes redundant, right? So then we don't have to run Spiral Masquerade. But if we play, say, the Mastermon variant, the Spiral Masquerade gets a lot of utility because not only are we expanding our board, but we also lack that DP reduction Slash gave us. So the Spiral Masquerade helps compensate for that. There's also cards like BT3 Angelwoman. In a situation where you're going into the late game, you're down to very little security. Angelwoman potentially gives you that extra body you just may need, right? There's a lot to consider. And there's also cards such as Sakuyamon. Sakuyamon is really fantastic versus Green OTK, Imperial Ultramon, or Shoutmon, because if they pull out a Raising, you can just shut them down completely. And then there's also cards like Digimon. right? Somebody pointed this out to me. Digimon can be used in the mirror because you can go into GG off of a knight, and if they pop your board, right, in the mirror matchup, then you heal 1. That's pretty nice. That's a nice little luxury. So definitely, this deck is very, very versatile. There's a lot you can do. Promo Patamon, Healing Satamon, Healing Salamon, right? As well as cards such as more Pulsemon or more Kotemon, etc. Like, there's a lot you can really tweak with. Now, as far as matchups go, you are very, very strong versus decks that focus on a single stack. Shoutmon is a prime example of this, because Shoutmon is all the eggs into a basket, and then Lordknightmon is like, I'm just going to DP reduce you. It doesn't matter, right? Your destruction is not tied to an actual destruction effect. It's tied to a gameplay mechanic. So, for example, BT5 Omnimon, who's immune to card effect destruction as well as bouncing or bot decking, he is not immune to DP reduction. He's weak to that. So yellow is just like, bam, there goes your 14k. Now, it also still does really well into decks that go wide, just because you can split that DP reduction however you want. So overall, this deck is pretty strong. But, I know you're all thinking, oh, Lordknightmon is gonna be completely unbeatable. There's no way we can beat it. And I will say, there are some decks that do exist in the meta that potentially can handle Lordknightmon. Right? Green is a very wonderful example of this. Green has historically done very well into yellow just because green's overall mechanic allows it to keep up in speed with that blinding light, right? Because green is so cheap in cost. Digisorption, as well as a hidden potential discovered, and just one costs across the board. Very, very cheap. OTK green is exceptional versus Lordknightmon. How that matchup ends up turning out is you go Grand Kuwagamon. Excuse me. You go Grand Kuwagamon. You swing for all their security. You do the whole Chaosmon. They punish your board. They clear it. They do whatever they want. The big difference that we have to remember is that War Greymon can untap itself, thus dodging Nidhogg. Crusadermon or Lordknightmon cannot. You have to remain tapped. So you're going to always be Nidhogg bait. That is huge. Super duper huge in this type of matchup. But also, depending on the variant of Lordknightmon you are facing, your matchups really do alter. For example, Lordknightmon Slash, very excellent versus green overall, very excellent versus red, very excellent versus Hexblow, etc. Right? But Slash variants do a lot worse into security control than, say, a Lordknightmon Mastermon variant, right? That's something we have to consider. But then you look at it from that way, okay, if they're playing Lordknight Mastermon, then Shoutmon suddenly does really well, because Shoutmon's minus 5k, then suddenly snipes all of the Gatomons, right? So there's a lot you really do have to consider. And now finally, the deck list. This deck list is very, very, very similar to the list that I used to get second place long ago at a Nightmare Coliseum, I believe. And instead of like little details that I normally have on these, frames, I've put a tier list of the call targets that you can call off for your Lordknightmon, right? So you can use this as reference. So in tier A, we have Nightmon, we have Starmon, and we have Bushi-Agumon. Nightmon and Starmon are both easy ways to access DP reduction, which is really, really great. Absolutely fantastic. And then we have cards like Bushi-Agumon, who, as we all know, Bushi for game is very, very real. In the B tier, we have Pulsemon and Lucemon. Pulsemon, when you're at 3 security, is like an A tier call, right? Because that +1 memory, that draw 1, really, really great. But Pulsemon at 2 or less, or 4 or greater, is B tier, because it doesn't do as much, it's not as proactive as Nightmon or Starmon, right? So Pulsemon is like potential A, but generally it's a B. And Lucemon is that heal 1, right? That's really nice, but again, it doesn't progress your board state. So I found Lucemon to be a B tier call. And then in C tier, you have Kotemon and Gladiemon, neither of which progress the board state. They're consistency boosters, but generally they become redundant after once or twice. So I found them in the C tier. But without further ado, let us go over the card choices. In our Digitama slot, we have 4 Pikmon and 1 Coralmon. DP reduction is really, really significant. But that's not to say you can't play eggs such as Upamon. My gripe with playing Upamon in this situation is that despite lacking card draw, because Lordknightmon doesn't draw as well as War Greymon did, it's harder to burn yourself into security threshold. You don't have the same self-burn that War Greymon did, which is really, really significant in this situation, as well as you don't have the same DP reduction that War Greymon did, right? All your DP reduction in this deck is tied to other cards. It's not a 1-card combo. It's a 3-card combo. So having that minus 1k DP comes up a ton. So we have the 4 Pikmon, which is the easiest to proc, as well as the 1 Coralmon. We have, for level 3 lineup, we have 3 Bushi-Agumon, Again, we don't have as much card draw as Lordknightmon. Bushi Agumon for game, super powerful win con. Also dodges Ultimate Flare, which is going to be a huge part of our format going forward. One Lucemon. This card bricks me so dang often that I don't want to run it at any more than 2 if I had to in a standard deck. You could play 2, but I value the consistency, especially in a mirror situation. Play 2 Kotemon. Once you see the first Kotemon, generally the other Kotemons are very redundant, so I wouldn't play more than 2. 3 is kind of okay, but I feel like 2 is a really, really good spot here. Starmon, 4 is mandatory. That card is absolutely cracked. It does so much for the deck. There's just no reason not to run 4. That DP reduction comes up way too often. 3 Pulsemon. Again, Pulsemon is a B tier call, but it is still a very, very powerful call. And then we have 2 Patamon. ST Patamon, in my opinion, it comes up a lot, and sometimes it doesn't come up at all. It really does depend, because we don't have that inherent DP reduction off of that Lordknightmon. But we do run the Knight Slash, the Megalo Slash, these packages of DP reduction. So Patamon can come up at times. In our level 4 lineups, we have 4 Terriermon, 4 Betamon. That is mandatory. You can't argue with that. Being able to Digivolve for 1 is way too powerful, especially in a deck where your power scale is all in your top end. And we play 2 Unimon and 1 Gladymon. Unimon is a 6k blocker. It comes up a lot because it dodges Nidhogg and Shout thresholds, as well as being a pain for yellow to deal with, because sometimes it's just hard to get rid of it. And we play 1 Gladymon. A lot of people, when they read Gladymon, their first impression is like, oh, this card is amazing, right? We should play like 3 or 4. And I'm here to tell you, no, this card is absolutely a trap. It is not good whatsoever in the grand scheme of things. You use it once, and then every single Gladymon afterward is completely useless. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. Going real quick, we only play the 1 because it is another valid call target. And sometimes you just need to go from Glady into Antila and then Slash. That is a valid line of play. But like most of the times, it's just, I'm not feeling it. Going to our level 5 lineups. 4 Knightmon, again, mandatory. We want to see this card as much as possible. It is part of the bread and butter combo. Night Star, it's cracked. Wargramon. Wargramon is really, really powerful, not only because the +1 KTP, which can make your Lordknightmon sometimes swing over counter Lordknightmons, but also the -4 KTP. If you combine that with Starmon, Knightmon, or Slash, or even Chaos, you are going to decimate the board. Way, way too good. And then we play 2 Antilamon. So a lot of people are like, oh, I would play 2 Anjouamon, or I would play 4 Anjouamon, or whatever. My issue with Anjouamon is you don't burn yourself into 3 as Wargreymon did. You don't have that inherent security burn. You're relying on Blinding Light or your opponent swinging into you. I don't like that. As a player, I like to be very proactive. I like to be very aggressive. And as such, I don't like having to rely on my opponent handshaking me and saying, hey, I'll let you activate your Anjouamon, you know? And so instead, I played the Antilamon. Antilamon is amazing in the mirror because off of 1 memory, you can go Turi, Blinding, Antila, and then Crusader. And now you're on Crusader before your opponent. That is huge. That is absolutely phenomenal. In our 6 lineups, we have 4 Maste and 3 Slash. There are like 3 different variants of Lordknightmon you can play. There's Lordknight Slash, there's Lordknight Maste, and there's Lordknight Wargreymon. All 3 do very different things. Slash is by far the best in my opinion. Just being able to combine with Knightmon is absolutely fantastic. Lordknightmon Wargreymon gives you a secondary boss, so if you don't draw into that Lord Knight, you're still feeling pretty good with that Wargreymon, but also it gives you a little bit of extra aggression because you can double swing with that Wargreymon on the following turn. That's pretty nice. And then Lordknight Mastermon, it has much more board expansion than the other 2 variants, right? Because Mastermon also generates a body, so if you go Lord Knight swing, call Knight, call Digivolve Maste, call another body, right? You've generated 2 additional bodies versus the 1 additional body that you normally generate, as well as the ability to security burn. And I do want to point out, Transcendent Sword and security control is going to be a really big thing going forward in our format. Transcendent Sword kills an 11k or less, and if you have an Omnimon or Greymon, you kill 15k or less. Slash and Wargreymon are both 11k and less, so they would lose the Transcendent Sword. Mastermon is 12. It dodges Transcendent Sword. That's another thing that we really want to take into account. We play 2 Chaosmon. Chaosmon isn't as necessary in this deck as it was in Wargreymon because despite all me saying, oh, we don't have as much DP reduction, we make up for that DP reduction in just how versatile we are. So don't think of Chaos as like an extender. Think of Chaos as like a really nice bonus. And also, it's just great in the mirror. If they clear it, they give you back 3 memory. It's nice. But I can definitely see the Lordknightmon builds just not run Chaos at all, because it's not mandatory whatsoever, I feel like. You just do so much on 6. We play 3 Blinding and 3 TK. Memory is so important. You definitely need to play 3 Blinding at the very minimum. TK can go down to 2 in my opinion, but this is a base skeleton, you know, it's just to be used as a reference. So, you know, you tweak with that ratio as much as you want, but 3 Blinding, definitely minimum. Coming up next, we have some gameplay of the Lordknightmon deck, so stay tuned. Alright everyone, so we are in the gameplay portion for the Lordknightmon deck. We are against Taste of Victory, right? He is another content creator, and hopefully this is going to be a smooth game, right? So our objective in any Lordknightmon deck is that our power spike is on the Lordknightmon, so we do want to try and get there as fast as we possibly can. But we can't be too afraid to be able to pivot off of the Lordknightmon if need be. I don't even know who's going first, to be honest. Did I win it? Okay, Tasty won it. Okay, so opening hand, we see double Knightmon, and we do have level 3 through 5, so that's not too bad. We were playing against green, and you see the Budmon, which makes me leads me to believe that this potentially is OTK green. Okay, we draw Starmon. Cool. So Pulsemon, very low value in the situation compared to Starmon. Starmon does a lot more than Pulsemon does on average. And just go for the... See, if this is OTK green, then we potentially want to hold on to our blocker there, so that we can just block the hit. So we're going to go into the Terriermon, consume that. Okay, there's a Patamon, and then we can just go into our Knightmon for 3 right here, because nothing else really works. TK. Okay, cool. So right here, it's not too shabby. Not too shabby. He goes into the Lilamon, he's at 0, so I'm assuming he goes into the Granku here. Goblin. Okay, cool. So we're gonna draw. It's our Bushi. Check. We do want to start cycling again. It's really important here, I feel like. Then again, he's just gonna bring this out and swing it, so might as well get some value off of it while we can. Cool, it dies. I'm totally cool with that. It's gonna die to Lilamon anyway. I just want to start cycling again. I think that's really important here. We also deny him a body to HPG off of. So what I mean by that, I mean to Chaos off of just the Crusader. Perfect. Okay, so what I mean by this is if, let's say, he has HPD, he has Grand Kuwaga, and he has Chaos. He has like the whole shebang, right? Then what ends up happening is he could HPD, tap Goblin, go into Grand Ku, do the whole thing, swing for whatever, and then he can go into Chaos, and then we leave a body on the board for him to remove, and I think that's really dangerous. Also, I'm turning my camera off because it looks like it's causing it to lag a little bit, so hopefully that helps. Hopefully. Okay. But yeah, so we're playing around the potential Chaos OTK, and we got the Crusader, which is really good for us. Okay, so he puts us the Pixiemon. Okay, we draw. Totally chill. We go into our Patamon. Draw, Uni. Okay. So because we yeah. Maybe just go Keto. And then yeah, we could just Knightmon here, I guess. Knightmon go to 1. Ooh, slash. Okay, that's really good. You know what? I realized why it's lagging. It's because we're playing against Tasty, and Tasty has notoriously bad internet because he's so far away in Chicago. And that's probably why the game is lagging, but... Okay, dies to Chaos. Nice. Tit for tat. He killed my Knightmon, I kill his Pixie. Tit for tat. Okay, cool. Terriermon. Interesting. I wish we had Ward Realmon with that, but it is what it is. Although we could snipe it because of the Starmon call. So that's also really huge. Looks like he's trying to hold on for a Nidhogg though. Right? Because otherwise he would have gone for this OTK play. So actually it looks like he's aiming for a Nidhogg. Which could be really dangerous, but I think we just have to take that risk. Don't have a choice here. So we go Crusader, right? Because we just have to press tempo. Tempo is really important here. Crusader, call. Okay, cool. We can turn on our blinding lights. So we're gonna swing this. Call Starmon, kill. Nice. +1 mem, swing. Cool. We actually died to that. That's funny. Because we were only 12k. So actually, am I okay with that? I think I'm kind of okay with that. Huh. Well, that's not good. Hang on. Okay, we're back after crashing on TTS, so hopefully we're good now. But looking at this current game state, Lordknightmon just died, which is kind of unfortunate, and we're potentially going to get Nidhogged away, or we're going to get hit by the Grand Kuwaga. So definitely want to try and play around that. If we go into the Unimon, we choke him, but then he can just Lila swing into it. I don't like that very much, so I think we're just going to end up going into the Pulsemon here and just getting that draw 1. Okay, nice. Get a little Lucemon. Okay, we are at 10 cards as well, so that is pretty good, because that 10 cards does mean we get that heal off, and the heal is very, very crucial in this matchup. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna get Nidhogged here, I'd imagine. Yep, cool. Totally chill with that. I'm actually very, very fine with that. I played around what I could, whatever I could. Okay, we're gonna go to 3. Cool. Draw, hatch. Patamon, draw, Digimon. So he doesn't have a lot of pressure going for him right now, which is really good. We do have double blinding, which is stupid, but it exists. How do we want to handle this? So could we start getting rid of his stuff? He has blinding. He has 3 cards in hand. He has like nothing. Okay, let me think. So we go star 0 2 2. If we had a 1 cost Evo, that'd be broken, but so 0 go to 4. We're 1 short. 1 short. Okay, so we'll just slow play. There's no reason to rush this one. We do know we have a Crusader in our whatchamacallit, in our security, so might want to hold on to this Glady to fetch it out. But we also might just end up burning it, which is a really scary thought. Then again, maybe I could bait him into Chaos Modding, potentially, right? Because then we retrieve the Lord Knight. Good. I could bait him into it, no? Maybe. If I choke him to 1 here, or choke him to 3, that's like really the big difference. Because if we play Glady, then on the following turn, we have to go... that's really risky. It's very risky. I think we're okay with just evoing here. I thought about baiting him into it, but I think it's really dangerous. If nothing else, we can bait. We can make him afraid. Oh, cool. We drew into the Crusader anyway, but we could. The idea was we make him afraid of this War Growlmon stack, because what this War excuse me, what this War Growlmon stack ends up doing is it threatens killing a good chunk of this board. There goes one of the Crusader that we would have grabbed back. So that's funny. But yeah, so we're kind of threatening right here. So what does he do? He goes into the Blossom, he taps it, sure. Okay. That's cool, it's cool, it's cool. We still have the slash. Wish we had the Chaos, so then we can really do some damage to this board. Or Nightmon. Nightmon would also be huge. But it's definitely doable. Definitely doable. Okay, Woodmon. Cool, we're at 3. Draw. So we're gonna bring this out for sure. Let's see, how do we want to approach this turn? We have double blinding light, he has nothing in raising. We're at 3, so we can make Pulsemon into a 2 cost. We can make Starmon into... Okay, so how do we want to do this? So DP minus, DP minus. Let me think. Let me do the math in my head. So blinding on 1. Can we clear his entire board here? Does the possibility exist? No, right? Well, the big thing is that we just have to kill, because he expended an HPD, so we just have to kill everything except this Blossomon and choke him, right? So if we go blinding, go to 5, War Girl, minus, star, kill, okay, that's dead. Lord Knight needs to swing 12. Thinking, math is hard. Okay, so minus 4, minus 2, that kills Wood. Lord Knight is at 12, that's not enough to kill Nidhogg. If I do it in the order with Pulsemon, Lord Knight hits 13. which then does kill Nidhogg because we -1 came from Pikmon. Well, yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. Okay, so -4 here, right? Okay, step 1 done. Okay, we're gonna Pulsemon. That's gonna cost us 2. Okay, we're also gonna draw 1 additionally. Okay, and then we go, is that Koshal or Blinding or Larry? Okay, burn 1. Crusader. Go to 0. Draw. Cool. So the -4, that kills. Pick, kills. Yep, perfect. Swing, call, snipe. Okay, so -4 plus 3. Yep, Wood's dead. Okay, 13 versus 12. Yeah, here. Perfect. Pick -1. Ah, we did it. Oh, that's so good. Ah, that's so good. Oh. Man, okay, wow. We really pulled that one out. Oh man. Okay. And then he can't Nidhogg or anything like that, so we just Terry and lock him to 1 here. Perfect. And we have Bushi in hand as well as a Blinding Light, so we can double Bushi or we can just Bushi 1 for game. Wow, okay. That turn was a lot of math. It's a lot of math. But we managed to pull it through, and we managed to like completely disable his board. Like that was a really good turn. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter if that lives or not, because we just have game. Yeah. Recording! Okay. Draw. Hatch. Oh, we ended up drawing to the Knightmon too. Okay. I don't think that matters too much in the grand scheme of things, but nonetheless. Okay. So, swing. How do you want to go about this? Does it matter in the grand scheme of things? No, right? Terry swings for 6. Okay, dies. Swing. Pulsemon. Okay, dies, sure. Call? Bushi? Swing. Okay. Bushi? Sure. Blocks, dies. Blinding Bushi. And that's game. Okay, that's game 1. Perfect. Yeah, oh man. Man. That was... Ooh, I feel really good about that turn. Wow, I like mathed the heck out of that one. I feel great. I feel super great about that turn. Okay. Go into game 2. Game 2. 5. Okay. So, first or second. Froze a little bit. Okay, Tasty's going first. Ugh, very rookie rush-esque hand. Don't know how I feel about that, but it's okay. We'll work with it. Pulsemon is still a draw 1 at the end of the day. It gives us the Woodmon, so we can choke him to 1. Wargrowl, Coolio. So we're gonna go... We can expend one of our Pulsemons here. Kotemon? I think the blind draw 1 has a lot more value. We're looking for a level 4, and Kotemon only has 1 valid level 4 target in our deck, whereas, you know, Pulse can grab a bit more, so I think this is actually a better play. And just like that, Hoang 0 calculating the statistical probability, alright? Alright, cool. Alright, swing this, no reason not to. We risk it dying anyway to like a Nidhogg or something. Cool, I'm totally fine with that. Go into today. We have a blinding, which is some very not cool stuff. Broken color, but I digress. Okay, we threaten the Wargrowlmon. So now we're threatening a Wargrowl Slash, which is a really big thing that he has to consider in the back of his mind. Because if he plays into the Wargrowl Slash, then that's just like immediate tempo loss. So we're really putting on that pressure here. How does he want to go about it, though? Okay, so he does bring the Pixie out. Is he going to go for the Grand Kuwaga play? He doesn't have Palmon, but he does have the Yokomon. Okay, no, he's keeping it in raising. Okay, cool. Yeah, because Yoko makes Grand Kuwaga 13k, so it would beat everything that isn't Chaos. Yeah. Okay, so he chokes us here. Okay. We potentially play into a Nidhogg. That's really scary. I don't like the thought of that, personally. I don't like the thought of playing into Nidhogg. But if we choke him at 1 here... Yeah. If we choke him at 1, then he can't threaten Nidhogg, because what ends up happening is... Okay, so like, we Digiburst here. Okay, we kill his Weed. Weed is dead. Okay, and then we Blinding Ray, so he's a Kosho. Okay, cool, go to 3. And then we just TK, lock him to 1. And so what that ends up doing is that he can't Needle Spray Nidhogg our stack away. Oh, perfect, Knightmon. Juicy. So yeah, so we've not only avoided the Nidhogg play, but we've also taken away some of his tempo. So the really big thing that you have to be concerned about is if we ever swing our Crusader, which again we have it in our hand, then we have to worry about that Nidhogg coming from the back, for the backhand. Backhand? Backswing. Clap back. There you go. Clap back. That's the terminology I'm thinking of. Okay. Digimon, so we go to 3. Cool. Hatch. I think we want to hold on. I think Kotemon has kind of just served his purpose. Yeah, okay. So we could just slash here. We could Crusader, but I'm not sure if Crusader does too much here, right? Because the really big thing. So we go to, let's say we go Crusader, swing, call Knight. That doesn't really do a lot. It doesn't really do a lot. Not sure how I feel about that play. Right now his Pixie is at 8, so... I mean, we can go into this slash, kill his Veggie, gives us a bit of tempo. The reason I'm not going into Crusader is because, again, if we go into Crusader, we kind of just fall into, like, this Nidhogg trap, and I don't like that a lot. I don't like that at all. Not one bit. So I'm thinking, maybe we could slash here, kill this Veggie, take away a lot of his tempo. Potentially swing, because we can just lock him to 1. I like that a lot. So yeah, so we'll just slash here. So kill this. Yep. Chill with that. Very chill with that. I need to start getting damage on the board, so we're gonna swing for 8. Okay, cool. And then I'll just Pitomon and I'll lock him to 1. So what this ends up doing is that he excuse me. If he goes into the Grand Kuwagamon Chaosmon combo, he ends up passing 5. And if he passes over 5, then we can definitely just restabilize on that, because we can go we can go Antila, Crusader, go to 0, kill his Chaos, I think it's doable, right? Yeah, it's doable. It's very doable. Yeah, and then we just take away all of his tempo. If he trashes Pixie into the slash, then we're big chilling, because again, we have the initiative because we have that second stack and raising already ready to go. Yeah, I feel really good about this. I feel really good about this. So what's your play? What is your play, Tasty? Security? Sure. Lucemon. It dies. Okay. And even if it didn't die to Lucemon, him hitting security means that slash Angemon suddenly becomes 9k because of War Growlmon. He ends up passing. Okay. So no longer Nidhogg is a threat. Totally chill with that. Totally chill. Swing. This is for 9. Okay. Perfect. Then we just Antila Crusader. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, goes the wood. I think that's just GG because I have the Bushi in hand off the Crusader. Okay. It's a Kosho. Cool. Does not need a Digivolve here because we hold in just in case anything happens. Crusader swing, call, Bushi. Okay. Swing. Okay, and that's GG. Okay, so thank you guys all for coming to watch the Crusadermon Lordknightmon video. I hope that was educational for you all, and thanks. Make sure that you guys give me some feedback if you want, and I really appreciate it.